Thank you for having me here, and I'm here to speak about opportunities to work with More to Life for MCIS. And just to introduce myself, my name is Solon, and I've been working on this project for about 7 years, and I've just recently launched it after we got all our approvals and everything. And I'm originally a business school graduate. I went to Imperial College and I worked for 5 years in corporate finance, including Khazanah and Usaha Tegas. And subsequently, I worked in a tech company for 3 years, and now I'm doing my own startup. And I started this project with the intention of helping elderly people retire in prosperity in their own homes. And it's been an interesting journey, and I think there's some ways we can work together that I would like to talk to you about today. So, just to tell you about how it started, one day I was in a water bus station in Venice, and my father told me about a product that existed in Australia that helps people free cash from their homes for retirement while continuing to live in their homes until they die. And when I got this idea, I immediately came home and started doing some research about whether it would work in Malaysia. The first thing I found, the first clue I had was the need in Malaysia. First of all, at 60 years old, the life expectancy in Malaysia is 78 to 80 years old. And that means people are living for about 20 years. And yet, only 18% have EPF's minimum 228,000 by 55. So the Malaysian Financial Planning Council said that they actually need about 568,000 in today's dollars in order to retire with a monthly income of 3,100 ringgit. So what are some clues that this could that led me to develop an equity release business? The first is 70% of senior wealth is in their primary residence in Europe. And in Malaysia, 77% of seniors own their own home. So that gives you a clue that there's potentially a lot of wealth that is tied up in their homes that could be freed. And in the average terrace house in central KL is worth close to R1 million. About 300,000 homes in Malaysia were empty nests in 2000. That means it's either an elderly person or an elderly person and his spouse living there. 76% of them didn't want to move homes. They wanted to continue to live on in their home until they die. So how does our product address this particular situation? It's best to explain with a case study. So this is Devi. Devi worked as a secretary for throughout her career, and she retired at 65 with very little in her EPF savings. But about 30 or 35 years ago, she bought a terrace house in Bangsa for 100,000 ringgit. And that house is now worth 1.2 million ringgit. So her friends tell her she should just sell the house and move to a condo out of town. But Devi is very sentimental about her house, very sentimental about her neighborhood where she spent most of her life in. And she wants to live on there. So Devi has two children. They are both well settled. They both are specialist doctors living on their own. And they don't need the house. And right now they're giving their mother an allowance every month. And she has to live in a very basic way, and she doesn't feel comfortable making too much demands on them. So how this product works is Devi will list her house on our website. So she will list it. There's an actuarial engine that says that she can get 577,000, which is 52% of the house value in cash. So she lists it, and an investor will come along and buy it from her. An investor could be a high net worth individual, it could be an insurance company. They will buy it from her for 577,000 ringgit. Why is it less than 1.2 million ringgit? Well, she gets the right to continue to live in her house until she passes away free of rent. So there's a lease agreement that says that it's zero rent for the rest of her life, whether that's 10 years or 30 years, she will continue to live there free of rent. So our website, moretolife.asia, is just like iProperty. It allows them to list their houses and find us a buyer who is interested. So from Devi's point of view, her reality doesn't change. She continues to live in a house. She doesn't pay any rent until she passes away. Her neighbors don't even have to know about it. But she gets a lump sum of 577,000 ringgit for her retirement expenditure. So what are some of the safeguards we put into place? Well, first of all, it's available in most developed countries in the West, and it started in 1965 in the UK, which means that it has a 50-year history in the UK. So it's very well established, it's time tested. And if you look at 2018, 4 billion pounds of cash was freed. That shows you that it's a big industry. In Malaysia, we are the first to start, but we've got all of the approvals from the real estate board under the Ministry of Finance. So what are the opportunities that I'm here to talk about with MCIS? Well, there are basically two distinct opportunities. The first opportunity is, as we put in our letter, that the opportunity for you to be an introducer for our scheme. So if you look at the UK, about 30% of all sales of equity release is made through introducers. And basically, any agent, whether it's an insurance agent or whether it's a financial planner, anyone could have contacts with the elderly who are suitable. And the reason why it's always sold through introducers is because they prefer someone they know, someone they can explain it to them. So we have a short guide on how to explain it to your clients on our website, More to Life Partners. And using the guide, you can explain it, you can comb through your contacts and explain it to your clients. And if anyone is interested, you just have to fill out a referral form. It's really just a one-page form on our website. And then we will arrange for an appointment with the person. And if you want to, you can be present, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. Then we will enter, they will fill out, they will apply for the application, they will submit an application for our scheme, and we will enter into a reward letter with you. And when everything is completed, all the agreements are signed and they get their cash, you will get an introducer fee. And the introducer fee works out to be about 1% of the transacted price. So it's about 5,000 ringgit for a 1 million ringgit house. And we're happy to support you in doing this. We're happy to train your agents. We can record videos. We can do a podcast for them. There is a second opportunity, which might be perhaps more interesting, which is to invest in the homes themselves. So this is an asset class that in the UK insurers have loved. And the main reason for that is that it matches their assets and liabilities. So, and it has very high returns. If you look at the returns, this is in Malaysia for the last 26 years. Every year, the terrace house price index has gone up, except for 2 years following 97 crisis. The compound annual growth rate was 6% per annum. So if you look at Klang Valley on the right, it's 10 to 15% per annum compounded growth for the last 5 years. So what that tells you is that if you combine this 10 to 15% with a 40 to 60% discount, you're getting returns above 20% compounded on average. So it's very attractive investment class. Some other benefits is we will source all of the houses for you. We will advertise it on digital marketing. We will source it. And the houses are all fully tenanted and well maintained because people expect to live there for the rest of their life. The fees that you pay to hold the houses is very little. It's only about 1,000 ringgit per annum. And you don't have to spend any money on outgoings. All of the quit rent assessment, insurance is all paid for by the tenant. If you want to monetize your holdings before the person passes away, say after 5 years you hold it, or after 1 year you hold it, you want to get your cash back, you can relist it on our website. Someone else can buy it, and the discount would have unwinded a bit, the property would have appreciated a bit, and you would make some returns on it. The investor profile is typically cash rich and patient, so institutions are very suitable. It's also a vehicle for diversification into a new asset class that you can't actually tap onto without this scheme, which is landed residential property. So if you look at the likes of EPF, they're chasing property in Germany, now in Latin America, and they're buying industrial commercial properties, but right under their nose in KL, residential properties are appreciating so much, and they haven't got access to it. Lastly, as I mentioned, it matches interest liabilities very well. So I want to open it for discussion, and one option that we could talk about is that there's a situation where we could possibly work together, which is that it has been a bit slow to source these houses. We don't have many listings yet, and that is partly because we want to increase our marketing budget in order to grow the business. On the other hand, on your side, you want to source these properties and a stable source of properties. So one possibility is that you could invest some capital into our business, which we will spend on marketing to source properties. In exchange, we can give you a first right of referral on these properties. You can buy them before anyone else buys them. In that way, you can create a large portfolio of these properties, and when you have a large portfolio, it follows a bell curve, and there's some predictability in the cash flows. And yeah, it's a good proposition, and I'm happy to discuss it with you. Thank you.